Please don't break again.
If it does, I have a hammer in the car.
I would rather not pound my laptop, but I just said that sentence out loud. Audio mix are unavailable.
Yeah, there's this mixer, it's not exactly a high range.
Grits. Supposed to start in 4 minutes.
It's the sound of these.
That's why that tells me if I overload. Wonder. I would like you to
Does that make that sound?
No.
Okay.
I should be the only thing talking right now. You want me to send the sound test through?
Yeah, let's just make sure you've got sound.
Okay, I'm going to send the sound test through. And playing. Volume is max.
Not even a little bit of dash?
No.
How about rampage?
It's on my side. It's on my side.
You just happen to hit the
Stop.
button. Okay, we're good. Talk about time. You're all seeing it work, and I'm like, no, that's not. Yeah, it's this channel. And then she gets
Is this where the karaoke party is going to be?
I have no idea.
After this panel, yes.
I'm not staff. I don't know what goes on after here. I'm doing follow Equestria.
Yeah, this is my last chance to see both of you play on the What is
Is
this?
this where things gonna be? Me, I don't know. Not even job. No, I don't know where I am. I mean, that's kind of with my
8 to 11.
current situation.
Yeah. This is my last chance to meet Nicole. And I'm not seeking autograph. Maybe a photo.
So if I look at the camera, it actually tracks me properly.
Yeah, we're not, we're writing stuff. We're not looking.
And
So we,
cool. It mostly works.
Just have a question.
If you can't tell, I spent half the night trying to count
Faces on pancakes.
It is, on the laptop, yes. On the desktop, it's perfectly calibrated, exactly right. I even have little chalk outlines on my desk where to put the cameras. But in the field where I have to like set it up real quick, no.
Let's see how that one does. Yeah. I showed a lot.
Hitting that with the left hand, so you better behave or we're gonna have subscription. You better behave or I'm gonna have subscription. Why is that doing that? Okay, I have questions.
I have an answer, but I can't say it out loud.
Tracking webcam. Are we mirrored? No, don't mirror. Okay, that works right now. You behave. Anyway.
Don't behave.
Hi everyone, I'm here to talk to you guys about Fallout Equestria today. How are all of you doing tonight? Did you all make it through your Saturday without killing anyone? Okay, several of you were unenthusiastic. That tells me that there are some bodies that need to be hit, and I understand. For everyone who's curious, this is a PG panel at Everfree. Not at Everfree, this is a PG-13 panel. I will try my best to keep it PG. The staff member over here has permission to hit me if I don't. I know you won't, but you do have permission.
No. I'll just mute. I'll do it.
Okay, that works too. Hi. We're going to talk about Fallout Equestria, how it came into existence. I'm going to talk to you about the major stories as well as KCAT's original, and I'm going to go a little further into detail by showing you guys some of the fan stuff that's been made. I tried to get some more recent fan stuff downloaded while I was here at the hotel, and guess what the hotel's internet told me?
No.
Go away. It kept disconnecting my laptop and refusing to download it altogether. And the file I did get through was completely corrupted because it had to be retried download 7 times. Good job, hotel. Good job. I paid an extra $20 for that. So who am I? I am Fiora the Tank Girl. I am the writer of Fallout Equestria Dead Tree. I have been in the field of human sexuality and communication for 12 years. I have several scientific papers, as well as my name is on several LGBTQ-friendly bills in Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Maryland, and one in New York. I write Wandering Sunrise, and this is my VTuber avatar. Hi. I just got her about 3 weeks ago after 6 months of work, finding people and getting stuff done to make this work. I also have the first legally published Fallout Equestria piece of work that is now considered legal parody instead of fan fiction. I even have copyright numbers. That was a nightmare, and we're going to talk about that nightmare in a minute. So, what we're going to be looking at is how this fandom came to exist, because by all metrics, something as crazy as Fallout Equestria should probably be this little tiny niche thing, and it turns out, no, it's one of the most popular fan fictions of all time. We're also going to talk about things like how the internet helped it, how to write a story that people will be compelled to read versus a story that's just a cool thing to put together. And then we're going to talk about all the offshoots, and we're going to talk about how things have kept going afterwards. Because right now, Fallout has like the most cultural relevance it's ever had. And Bethesda seems to only be able to drop ball over and over again. So, first thing is timing of the original Fallout Equestria story. It came out when the Brony fandom needed something that was not porn or shipping. I'm being entirely honest. I've been through the Wayback Machine to femfiction.net, and I have read almost everything that existed in 2012. 93% of it was either shipping or pornography. So you had this little 7% that wasn't one of those two things. KCAT originally did not set out to be famous. As a matter of fact, many people believe KCAT's a guy. Guess what? I've met KCAT. KCAT's a cis woman. Surprise! I've actually met her a couple of times. I've actually gone to dinner with her twice. She used to attend TrotCon incognito in order to avoid anyone knowing what was going on until we had an incident at BronyCon with someone, and then she decided to completely walk away altogether. Fallout 3 in New Vegas at the time when this came out were competing. People were actually having arguments on internet forums. Remember internet forums? People were having arguments about if Fallout 3 or New Vegas was better. And New Vegas was still releasing DLC, which did help search results, because when you have a name like Fallout Equestria, all you have to do is search Fallout Horse in 2012, and guess what comes up? Hello. Still to this day, Fallout is an incredibly popular brand. What do I mean by that? It has a $2 billion show on Amazon. And it's getting a second season, and they're signed up for 2 more, meaning the writers got their bonuses. Assuming they finish. Lastly, we had the MLP show leak of all the show assets. So every single thing that they had for an asset in Flash became publicly available on Reddit.
for 11 months until Hasbro realized what had happened and sent the cease and desist. And by then it was too late. You can still actually download those Flash models from Pirate Bay. Yo ho, sail the Red Seas. The Brody documentary came out 2 months before K-Cat finished the original Fallout Equestria. Meaning suddenly there's this huge number of non-Brony people who are seeing people in Fallout cosplay walking around the My Little Pony convention and wondering, what? And the funniest part of that is in the documentary is a Steel Hooves cosplayer from Russia in full power armor. So you couldn't deny that that's a T-54B power armor right there walking through with a Gatling gun. What? So you had all of this happen, and because of all that timing, people became aware of it, and the right people became aware of it, aka the people who would become fans of it, and that results in what we have now, which is a fandom within a fandom that should not exist. Fallout also appeals to all of us beyond just, the fact that it's Fallout. We like to see cute, adorable things get annihilated in horrific ways for some reason. I say this under full acknowledgement that Happy Tree Friends ended in 2022. 4 years after the discontinuation of support for Flash. Those of you who don't know what Happy Tree Friends is, because you're making me feel old level of age, Happy Tree Friends was a series that came out in 2007 with the release of Flash, in which they would take Flash characters that were cute, adorable, cuddly creatures and mutilate them in horrific, over-the-top ways. Worse than Mortal Kombat levels of gore, because this was freely accessible. This was more like, oh boy, why is his intestine still going? And it was a series that continued to be produced for 25 years. Whoops! Oh no, wait, I'm stupid. 15 years. My brain is having a brain. I have not had dinner and I've been in the vendor hall all day. I apologize. I'm going to dinner after this, I promise. So Fallout came out. Same time Brony started to become really popular and public consciousness that Bronies existed came into being. And then BronyCon 2, you had people showing up with Little Pip plushies, full-on Fallout cosplays that went above and beyond not just regular Fallout, but specific characters from Fallout Equestria. You also had the arrival of Project Horizons, and Equestria Daily tried to make a big deal about this other person who's writing Fallout Equestria, and K-Cat's response is legendary. Quote, I made the world. I created the place to play in. I invite all of you to go play. I will not dictate what is canon and what is not. Period. She basically went, go have fun. I don't care. It's not my place to do this. And people did. Also, K-Cat kept running tabletop games for so long that an actual game company picked up the tabletop game and made it. It's a disaster, but it's a fun disaster. We played it for 7.5, almost 8 years on my live stream. That was fun. That was a great Wednesday night every week. I have been running the Dead Tree novel project for so long that 4 people who were associated with its original creation are now deceased. I miss all of them, but there's nothing I can do about it at this point. I need to finish the book, which I'm doing by Christmas. They come hell or high water. If I have to spend 2 weeks in isolation to finish it, it's getting finished by Christmas, and you guys are going to have it by Christmas Day. So, why does this work? Interesting collisions don't work. They did a My Little Pony Transformers comic that did nothing with the characters. That had no consequences, that had no character arcs, no character development. They just slapped them together, let them do their thing, and then pulled them apart. That's why it's only 5 issues. Because they had no idea how to do a plot for what they were going to do. And yes, I'm going to call out Hasbro and IDW for lacking a plot sometimes. That's my opinion. When you put 2 things together, like I've seen someone put Voltron and Power Rangers together, and it went 4 chapters, and then the artist wrote a blog post about they didn't know what they were doing because they didn't have a plot to move anything forward. So literally, when you don't have an idea of how you're going to progress the story, you run into the problem that you yourself as the writer, once you stop finding different things that slam together, you don't have anywhere to go. The interesting part for you was to put the two worlds together, not actually write the story with them. They're nice side projects. That's all they can really be. And once the gimmick's done, you, the author, will be done. K-Cat wrote a good story first. That's what she did. She took everything she considered flawed about Fallout 3, pulled it together, and said, now how do I rewrite this with ponies and remove what I think the flaws are? And so she set up a hero's journey. Those of you who don't know what a hero's journey is, hero starts here, goes out into the world to get a thing for their hometown, their village, the place they come from, discovers things are not the way they thought they were, ends up in an abyss, comes out completely changed from everything, and then returns to where they started. And what K-Cat did from there, she set up little hero's journeys along the way for each part. And every time the characters came out slightly changed, slightly altered. Little Pip got more mutated, got a little more ruthless. Remedy got a little more heart in her and realized that she needed to actually care about people, not just their bodies. Steel Hoops was a flat character, and then he died because we all liked him, because his story arc had been completed in the past, not the present with the memory orbs. But every truth will always lead to a deeper reason why the wasteland needed help, why someone had to step up and fix this, because no one was. And every repair will lead to more damage initially. What do I mean by that? The Steel Rangers having a civil war. The Pegasi attempting to stop the removal of the clouds and retaliating for it even. Little Pip annihilating Araby. Every time you need to fix something in the wasteland, you have to destroy something else to do it. Those were rules she set out when she was writing this. And the last part of that makes something Fallout is something Bethesda doesn't understand. Characters are never safe. Ever. They can't be. Steel Hooves dies in 2 sentences. There's no preamble, there's no warning, there's no anticipation, there's no build-up. At the moment, he seems perfectly safe and then just decapitated. Gone. That's how you write a Fallout story. No one can ever be safe. They can have huge, dramatic, heroic deaths, but they can also have sudden, unfair, out of nowhere dead. I just put up a picture on Blue Sky last week. Sunrise gets shot in the head with a .50 cal. Her helmet is flying off. Her eyes are closed. It's in the next chapter. No one actually knows if she's alive or dead. She's my main character. Whoops! And therefore we have hundreds of offshoots. Why? Well, the first reason is because Bethesda doesn't know how to write a date. Excuse me. Bethesda doesn't know how to write very well without leaving a lot of plot threads hanging that never get resolved or in any meaningful way taken care of. The entirety of Fallout 4's synth problem is from a throwaway quest on board the aircraft carrier that you can only find if you actually go to the back of the medical center and talk to the doctor who's not doing anything or drawing any attention. All of that is spawned from that. Why? There's more interesting things. Personal opinion. And we end up with offshoots, because K-Cat told us to go play, we end up with offshoots. Lots of them. And we indulge in them. A lot of times. There are 235 major side stories as of last night that are registered on the Fall of Equestria Wiki. There are actually 2 of what is now the Big 8. You're all going to hear about something new now, because I recommended a story a month ago, and it got approved. I'm not one of the moderators of the Fallout Equestria Wiki, but I do talk to them because I have to. One of them is actually a mod on my staff for my Discord and Twitch, which is kind of cool. I'm glad he went back to college and is now an engineer, but that's beside the point. The radio plays I have checked since last night have stopped. I didn't have time to update the panel, and I didn't want to risk updating the panel after last night when it just decided to implode over and over again with fatal errors. That was a different panel, different problem. This one doesn't seem to have those.
Yes.
Just going to make sure. In the meantime, we're going to discuss what makes a major side story, or a major canon side story, as it were. First off, this first rule has since been annulled. You don't have to have your own article on Equestria Daily anymore.
Yeah.
You do, however, have to be easily a recognizable name with enough fame that people are able to say, no, yeah, I know that story, on what would be considered a relative basis. 2, you must have easily recognizable characters that are distinctly yours. You cannot make a Blackjack clone, I'm sorry, both in look and personality. You cannot make a character that looks like someone else's character. It has to be a character that stands out in artwork, and you must have actual art of that character, whether it be yours or fan art, to show their depiction, at least for your main cast. And 3, a physical copy has to exist somewhere, somehow. It does not have to be a book. Someone could literally print a copy off a printer and just hand it to someone else. Now that copy exists in circulation, and that counts. But so long as someone went through the trouble of printing your work off and binding it, it technically counts for submission. So, I'm now going to explain the... Hey, Andy, cooperate. Or not! I'm going to explain the Big 8 in 10 words or less, as best I'm able to. I've read all 8 of these, by the way. I feel like this is like self-punishment or hatred at this point, because some of these stories are really long. First off, we have Project Horizon. Everyone knows me, jumping the shark. I am the longest. 77 chapters plus a prologue. It has 1.8 million words roughly, and it took 18 months to write this. It is the second most prominent result for Fallout Equestria. Almost the first most prominent result. I actually had to use like a tool I developed to scan for Project Horizon pictures versus Fallout Equestria pictures. When you search Fallout Equestria, the KCAT's original currently has a 9% lead in total number of pictures resulted. So it's almost there, and I don't want it to get there. Please draw more stuff of Little Pip, I beg you. Heroes. I have no special powers. That's the entire thing. Seriously. I wish I was kidding. It has 582,000 words, but it took 7 years to write. The last chapter came out in February. It's also written by a guy named No One, who's never written anything else ever. He has no other fan fiction writing that I can find. I talked to him and asked him, have you ever written anything else? He went, nothing beyond what a professor in a college had asked me to do. This is his only written work. And it's good. Anyway. Pink Eyes, small cute death ghoul finds mom.
Oh, I read this one. It's so sad.
It is rough.
It is 135,000-ish words, 21 chapters. It only took 3 months to write. Now, this should be very important to note. It is not only the only major side story, but the only side story written from the perspective of a child using the language no more complicated than a 6th grader. It is written like a bedtime story that you wish to inflict trauma on your children with. It's also the shortest of any of the major side stories, as it's a children's story. It's meant to be read over the course of a week as a bedtime story. At least that's what the author told me. Gentry! Fallout 4 reunion would be good. I'm going to use my one F-bomb. Fuck Todd Howard. Right now it is 648,000 words. The website's going to tell you a different word count. That's because I have chapters I haven't handed my editor yet because I'm not happy with them yet. I'm sorry, Kimmy. You can yell at me later. It is also joined by Hooves of Fate, which is the one we're going to get to at the end, as a currently being written major side story. I'm going to finish this by Christmas. Or I'm going to die trying. I hope I don't die trying. The story is written based on the events of an actual tabletop game that we played for 7.5 years. I was literally actively writing the story, and I was only a little bit behind the tabletop game until our DM threw a brake on the gas pedal and started outrunning me by a country mile. I also have a cease and desist letter from Todd Howard that I'm never allowed to talk to that man ever again. Like, from his lawyer, I have a letter that says, and I framed it, that says, you are not allowed to ever speak to Todd Howard ever again. Because I mailed, after the court case and everything was finalized, I mailed a copy of the first print of my book with a sticky note attached that said, I wrote Fallout 4 better with ponies, directly to his desk. I used my contacts at Microsoft and Obsidian and ZeniMax from me being the person who gets a regular press pass invitation to PAX East and West, and the tabletop one for some reason, to get the exact address so the package would arrive at his desk and not be intercepted. He apparently took offense to that.
And nothing of value was lost.
And again, strangely, 4 people who have been working on this with me are now deceased. Von Holtz died of COVID during the pandemic a month before vaccinations came out. That's a completely different story, and I don't want to go over it here because I'll cry. He was my best friend at the time. Fody, one of my artists, has been confirmed as being killed in a drone strike for retaliation for the country of Georgia taking refugees, including him, who had gone to that country as a refugee and was allowed to stay under sanctuary. And he died in a retaliatory drone strike from the KGB. 2 other of my friends, who will remain anonymous at their family's request, have also passed away, who had been working on this project in artwork form and scripting form, and they're just gone now. And there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm going to finish this, at the very least, so that their work can be done. Last, let's keep going. We have Murky number 7. The reason why I told all that is because this is Gut Punch Heart Stab the Story.
Dude, you're not wrong. That was a rough one.
You read it?
I did. It's my favorite.
Oh,
How do you feel?
It was rough.
Just a little bit rough?
The third sentence sums up exactly.
So I'm going to say something, and it's going to upset everyone who's read it. The birthday party.
That's one of the best parts.
I know! I know!
That comes after one of the worst parts.
It was written 4.5 years ago. It took 4.5 years to write. Literally, this story will just find a way to make you cry.
Oh yeah.
If you can feel anything, you will be in tears.
It can't get worse.
And then it does. It also deals with incredibly sensitive issues and pulls no punches. And what do I mean by that? Murky number 7 talks about rape, dismemberment, post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, suicide, death by cop at one point, abandonment issues, bad parenting, everything you can, in extremely abusive relationships, everything you can think of that you probably should see a therapist over, this story goes through and does it correctly. It's incredibly rare for an author to be able to illustrate trauma correctly. It's incredibly hard for an author to illustrate it in such a way that they take care of it and prevent people from being upset at them for it. They did it. And even I'm shocked at how good it is. I have degrees for helping people with therapy. I could be a marriage counselor tomorrow. I'm not even exaggerating. That's like what my degrees are for. And this impressed me. So, Guys of Chaos. I screwed up and don't remember how. It's a whole story. It's 260,000 words. It's one of the least known of these major side stories. It took a year to write. The author tried a sequel, put out a blog that says, I can't write a sequel. I completed what I wanted to do. It's the story of a raider getting redemption. You know that thing you usually blow in the head in the games for XP points? Yeah, it's one of those people coming back from the brink, and it really kind of expands how raiders work and how raider culture works to the point that I'm genuinely impressed, if not shocked. Next, and this is usually where I would end this section, but we're not going to this time. Better Days. I'm a Mandalorian. Oh crap, I have a heart. It is the story of a wasteland bounty hunter, referred to as a regulator. If you've read Dead Tree, you know where that came from. 240,000 words, 46 chapters, 19 months of work. It is the least known of the major 7 side stories. It is the Star Wars The Mandalorian before that came out. This came out in 2016. It is beat for beat that good.
Even a baby Yoda?
We could sue Disney for copyright on that one. That's the weird part.
Baby Yoda?
This story feels kind of generic also. But generic's not bad when it's executed perfectly. Execution is what it comes down to that makes this story good. It takes very basic concepts and gets them exactly right in such a way that you, the reader, can stand there and imagine yourself looking through the character's eyes. And it does it very succinctly in one of the shortest major side stories there is. Now, I get to talk about this. And I've been looking forward to this for a month and some change. Hooves of Fate.
Yes.
Philly sees future, tries to stop fate. It is currently 506,000 words in 70 short chapters. The author exclusively writes Fallout Equestria stuff. This is like their 4th Fallout Equestria story, and it's the first one to be kind of a magnum opus. It is labeled as incomplete, but there is a sequel with a single chapter, so I'm a little confused about what the author's up to. It is about a filly in Equestria who sees the future that Fallout Equestria exists in dreams and nightmares and prophetic visions that Luna herself acknowledges that sounds like you're seeing the future and not the present. And she works her way to try to find a way to stop it from happening, only for the timeline itself to constantly replace the things that she has removed and try to keep them on track to end up in the wasteland. Really well written. And I'm surprised someone can write time travel that way. Looking at you, Star Trek. And we keep going. Fallout as a series has transcended 3 game developers at this point, and it still remains popular. As a matter of fact, as I said at the start of the panel, it currently has its biggest popularity moment ever. This series keeps going, and I have some things to show you from the fandom that you guys are a part of now, that I should have queued up. Where is it? There we are, queued up. So we're gonna, there's a button, haha.
The secret of pony magic, bullets.
So, those of you who are curious what that is, that was made by Argo Demon. 7 years ago, when Argo Demon didn't even have 10,000 people who were watching him. This is one of his highest hit videos, and it's 5 seconds.
It's a good video.
It's very good. It's very good. And what he did with it after that was this. This doesn't have any voice acting at all. I'm going to slide out of the way. There we go. It's just really well done. And an incredible piece of animation. Actually, I'm going to turn myself off for this. I can disappear. I didn't realize SFM could be this smooth until I saw Argo Demon do this. But that's weirded out that we're still using Source Filmmaker as one of our primary ways of making stuff, and it's been like 17 years?
What works, works.
It just works.
Just works.
Somebody play Sweet Little Lies.
I mean, to illustrate just the difference, I'm made in Blender. That's made in SFM. I still think that looks better. You didn't do a bad job, Fauna. Don't look down at me. The really neat part is knowing how all of this works. In order to get like something in SFM to explode, you actually have to section it off and make the explosion parts as one solid piece, and then you animate each individual piece. Also, there's animated. Wow, that screen is really bad. I did not realize. Holy crap! Look, I know you're in like 4K, but that's beside the point. That is not what this looks like on my laptop, by the way. There is no, what is it called? My brain dead for a minute. Artifacting. There's no artifacting. I think somebody said it, and I didn't actually. Yeah, there's no artifacting on my laptop. This is kind of weird. I'm confused.
It's a thing to do with monitors themselves.
Okay, you say so. This is not by Argo Demon. This is by Hero Strain.
Yes.
Somebody just said yes, so they know what I'm cooking. But Argo Demon did advise on this, and a lot of the models are his work. And I bring up Argo Demon because he's a master of the craft, but this was really well done.
It's so awesome to see this.
You had to have a Wilhelm scream. That's a really bad idea.
Yeah, that is a bad idea.
That's a really bad idea. and blackjack were smart. By the way, another fun fact, Little Pimp's description is never listed in Fallout Equestria. This is just what the fandom decided she looked like. She's always described as a plain-looking man with a short form. That's it. That's her entire physical description. Blackjack does too, man. Alright, now for some more fun. So, are you guys like music?
Yeah, music.
What about a music video that's fully animated?
You know where I've come from, but not from how far. A journey so ruthless, I still bear the scars. And what matters ain't about the world, so it's end, but what kind of life we will spend.
I'm trying to be better, but still miss the mark. And each time I save you, I'm left in the dark. No
When you're in trouble, I'll be by your side. My love for you ain't gonna hide. Have some returning, a penance and pain in a body left flame, but inside the fire keeps burning.
Still death is calling. The rivers run dry neath a blackened out sky, and all the dead trees are falling. Every new day in the creatures we face will see equal judgment or mercy or grace. Decision is needed for those who survive of whether you'll be left alive.
And all bloody work for a hope that we hold of past golden age and its story still told. And what sacred virtues we're able to heed to bring back to those who are in need.
The future is daunting. It's going to be shaped by the choices we make and those of the ghosts that are haunting.
Yet hope's worth preserving.
The
Spirits
spirits
far, all the angels there are, must not bring a peace that's deserving.
So that was fun to do. And now for some comedy.
Question, are you making drugs?
Nope.
Really? What's with all the mixing?
Cooking?
So you are making drugs?
Nope.
Not even a little bit of dash?
Nope.
How about rampage?
No.
Scholarly?
Nope.
Oh, can we please?
Fine. We can make a little if it'll make you happy.
Richard, we must cook.
People make this pop.
So, those are just a sampling of the things. Strictly an SFM. I can talk, I swear.
Liar.
Those are strictly some of the things made in SFM by the fandom that I was able to get on short notice because of hotel Wi-Fi problems and me wanting to be like, maybe I should get some more new stuff. No, we're just going to use the stuff that really works that people like. There are still Fallout Equestria animations coming out. There's one that came out last week. I was surprised. I liked the surprise, but I was surprised. We as a society want to know what would happen if World War III happens. I say happens instead of happened. Don't judge me. And how it would play out afterwards, besides the fact that most of us will be dead. Fallout cosplay is really easy. I mean, you got a guy back there who's wearing an armored plate that says 8 and a leather jacket and a hat, and that's pretty good. That's all I could see, and I could tell he's supposed to be a Fallout character. You can 3D print a Pip-Boy, Pip-Buck if you wish, or you can buy one. I saw a bunch of them at Gen Con. I can't wear them because they're made for someone who has little baby arms, and I don't. And it's really, really easy to make it MLP themed. You just add color. Because remember, in the MLP wasteland, color means danger. Whereas the gray means nothing's around. And we want to finish our stories, both as authors and as readers. You all want to finish the story. You want to see it through to the end. And then you want to see what more has to be offered. I was showing a meme today about writing. No person has ever gone, okay, I've had one of that, I don't want to have any more of it. No. They read like the entirety of something and then go, ooh, I hope this person has written 20 more stories just like this.
Like a can of Pringles.
Exactly. And publications are going to keep happening because we are now protected by parity laws. At least for now. My books are in the Library of Congress with copyright numbers. My 4th book will also be there, I hope. But these are now available to us to do what we want. So, hey, can you cooperate? Laptop, please. Thank you. This is all of my stuff. Other way. This is all of my stuff. I don't have business cards. You all have phones. You know where this is going. Either follow me now or take a picture. Don't worry about a business card because it gets put in people's pockets and lost. I've had one business card ever be mentioned as being returned to me. Why?
I still have one.
You're the guy! Okay, make that 2. Make that 2. But the point is, if you want to follow what I do, on YouTube right now, I'm doing a Mass Effect playthrough. I just got the VTuber avatar. We're making it work. It's not really working here very well because here is being calibrated in the field and the camera is not sitting straight and it's annoying me. It's been annoying me the entire panel. You and me, Mr. Motion Capture Camera, we're going to have a talk. I stream on Twitch 6 days a week. That pays the bill. If my stream doesn't do well, I don't eat. It's that simple. If I don't have people show up and watch, I don't eat. Right now, I'm playing Final Fantasy XIV for the first time. It's my first Final Fantasy video game. I'm having a blast.
Yeah.
I'm all the way to Shadowbringers if you play the game.
Yes.
I've been playing a bimbo bunny gunbreaker and her thinking support chocobo. Like you have a thinking support animal, she has a chocobo that does all the thinking for her. Because she's that dumb. And trust me, you don't want someone that dumb leading the charge. On top of that, if you want to follow me on Blue Sky, there it is. Or if you want to come talk to me directly, there's my Discord server. There are 800 people there. They would love to meet you. It can also be a quiet, chill place, and you can lurk the entire time and are just there for me to send out notifications to be like, here's a story chapter, here's a video, I'm streaming right now. I'm okay, I'm lurker friendly. I don't call out lurkers. You're allowed to lurk all you want.
We prefer.
My writing is published on Fur Affinity and FinFiction. Right now, most of the writing that's been coming out of me is over on Fur Affinity because I'm having some writer's block when it comes to writing Fallout Equestria stuff. I get maybe 2 paragraphs written in 4 hours. Whereas if I go write my original work, Here There Be Dragons, or I go write my new original work, Between Feathers and Federation, I put out entire pages in minutes. My editor over there is kind of annoyed. Because she just like, it's supposed to go on Patreon on like Friday morning. And on Thursday night, I'm like, here's 48 pages. Is that good? Lastly, Patreon, the thing I'm speaking of, is the only guaranteed income I have. Whatever that number is the only budgeting I can do. Right now, it's a little over $400. That doesn't even pay the rent right now anymore because my 2 top patrons both lost their jobs. Every bit helps, believe it or not, because I have weeks where I eat ramen and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and that's everything I eat all day. That costs $1.10. Lastly, if you want to ask a question and not make it public at all, there's my email address, like right down there. I will delete it forever, and no one will ever see it. I promise. Unless it's like a death threat or... I get those on a weekly basis. It's kind of fun. At this point, they're just not creative. I mean, how would you feel about making a death threat against someone and then they tell you, that's not very creative. Do you want to try again?
2 points. I hate you. Die.
Anyway, we have 10 minutes for questions. Yes.
You mentioned that, like, you mentioned earlier that it's Fallout Equestria is part of our tendency to, like, have horrible things happen to cute characters. Well, why do you think that's so endemic to the fandom? Because
it's not endemic to the fandom, it's endemic to human beings.
oh, okay.
We are a persistence predator and the only persistence predator in existence. So by that nature, the cute and adorable things are either the things that are going to help us hunt things later or are easy to catch.
Like wolf puppies.
Yes. Or baby horses. Or baby deer. Or bunnies. Anyway, any other questions?
There's literally a thing called cute aggression. When you see something cute, you want to squeeze it.
Yes.
But you're not mad.
You can ask me anything. I'm not bashful or shy. It doesn't have to be Fallout Equestria related. I mean, I'm an openly trans person who's a community guest at a My Little Pony convention halfway across the country, and it's probably the last time you're ever going to see me in person. I wish I was kidding about that. I have to leave the country. So I have a vendor table. What's on the vendor table is the last copies of everything I'm going to print in the U.S. I will be gone by Christmas. I will miss all of you too. And until it's safe for me to come back, I have to just leave. And I'm sorry to bring that up at the end. I've been trying to make peace with it all day. It hasn't been going well.
What is your? Do you think the starting on the stable is a bit overdone for a Fallout Equestria story? Do you think it's best to like start it like down in the middle of the wasteland because it's been done, so many times?
So Gods of Chaos starts outside of a stable to get in, which is one of the things that makes it unique. But do I think that that starting or having stables has been overdone? Hold on. Do I think it might have been overdone just a little bit? I don't know. Nobody cares, Call of Duty. I don't know, maybe a tiny itty bitty iota of a bit, or perhaps we may want to consider other things than numbers for stables at a certain point. Oh, they did.
I think that's more
shorter than actual vaults in the Fallout series.
I mean, at a certain point, we're using just letters or military code designations or infinity. Let's do infinity. Or let's just call it a testing facility.
I mean, to be fair, all but one of the Fallout games do start in a vault.
That's true. That's true. So total numbered stables apparently is 512.
Oh, that's funny.
But that's a jump, so we should probably say closer to like a little over 200.
Yes.
You may want to start somewhere else. You can still use them, just kind of start somewhere else. Just a suggestion. Anyway, you asked.
Yeah. And you answered, so thank you.
Anyone else?
What's your favorite spin-off that wasn't covered
So my favorite spinoff is by Forrest Rain. Yes, the music artist. That's not a joke. She's still writing it. She doesn't put it out a chapter very often. It's called Invicta. Last chapter was put out in May. It's actually good. I just wish that they had more time to focus towards it. It is so good, in fact, that if not for the legal agreements I have 2 other Fallout Equestria stories that I had prepared to write, one of which is a hippogriff. The other is an alicorn. You'll never get to see them, and I'm sorry. Snowy Wave was a hippogriff born in the Arctic wastes to a father from a land called Aquila, which is French griffins. And she has to figure out what her father's left behind legacy of a knight is, as well as how to survive in a place that's much warmer than where she's used to, when her entire body is geared towards surviving in sub-zero temperatures. And the alicorn was going to be called Sevens. 7 stars in her mane, 7 fetlocks on her hose, 7 spirals in her horns, 7 feathers in every one of the layers of her wings. Dumb, lucky alicorn. Very dumb. Anyway, yes.
If you could make a game out of any of her books, which would it be?
That's a haunting question. You realize that?
Yes.
Like, if I could make a game out of any of my books, so, there was a story I wrote in high school. It's all handwritten. 1,846 spiral notebook pages, handwritten, each of them numbered. I would use that because it is a story about a species of creatures that are looked at differently. And it came out, and I was writing this 10 years before Ruby came out with the Faunus. And it's a similar concept. Huh. Yeah, I wrote that 10 years before Ruby came out, and I looked up and went, I wrote that already. Fuck.
Hey, you probably should have seen Ruby.
I did not publish it. There's only 2 people who ever read it, and that one was my librarian, Miss Irene, God rest her soul, because she also, fed me books constantly, and the other was a friend of mine named Hunter. God, it's the weird people from high school you remember.
Yes.
Of
course.
What is wrong with me?
Makes sense.
Anyway. Any other questions? See, it works when I look at the camera, but if I look too high, my eyes close. If I look too low, my mouth stops moving. Anybody? Going once? I am afraid.
So the ban on writing, does that extend internationally, or is that just for U.S.?
It's a U.S. legal ruling.
Loophole.
And And France is much more liberal with satire and parody usage.
Ironic that the loopholes from the 4 5 feathers.
You know, I think this is the first time ever in my life I'm ever going to say this. Thank God for the French. I feel filthy now. Thanks.
They're the Flip Flare Brothers, that's their
I'm going to go eat and have booze to forget I said that. And then you're going to remind me in the morning. That's going to feel even worse.
Don't worry, you'll find us Radley at Cotton Hall and fine.
Anyway, last chance to take a picture of this before I show you guys something really neat that's been going on behind the scenes the whole time on my main monitor here. And once, and twice. Please do come follow me. I'm literally begging you because you're probably not going to see me again in person for a very, very long time. Tomorrow, my vendor table is open from 10 to 11:30, almost noon, after which I will be heading off-site. It's the last chance I'm probably going to get to see my little brother, my biological little brother, not my adoptive family, for those of you who know me. He's U.S. Air Force Intelligence, and he has a stopover in Seattle on his way to his next assignment. After which, he's already told me I should leave the country and not come back, which is why I'm leaving. Because he clearly knows something I don't, and he's telling me to get out. So I have to listen to him. I'm going to see him for a couple hours, then I'm going to show up for closing ceremony, and that's going to be my time. Anyway. So this is actually what's been going on behind the scenes, and I've been sitting here fighting this thing the entire time. Because it's not calibrated, the camera's off kilter, and oh, that's why, you're not straight. Excuse me, you're not in a perfect alignment. The person right over there is responsible for making the model. She's really good. You should give her more work. If you need an animation model made, that person. Now, she's not the only person responsible. There's also another individual. Her name is May. She lives in Sweden, and she's also a former animator for Fat Shark Games. Those of you who don't know who Fat Shark Games is, Vermintide and Darktide. She did all the main character animations. So that's why the hands work. When the thermal camera wants to capture them right. And I remember to put the last two fingers together so that they bend together. Anyway, she did all the animation and everything, and I've only had this thing for 3 weeks. It took 6 months to get this thing made. I want to thank the people who helped fund this, who helped fund my VTuber avatar. So thank you, all of you. It's really weird looking at this in VR chat because I logged into VR chat for the first time and looked at my hands and went, okay, that's trippy. But also to have like physics on the feathers. Okay, May, you're just showing off now. Anyway, I thought I'd show you all this before we wrap up. Thank you all for being here. This is my last panel. And I will be at the party rooms tonight for a little bit, and I will be at my vendor table at 10 a.m. I only have 2 copies of my books left. And I don't know when more will be printed in this country. I've already canceled my vendor table at the 2 cons that I might still be able to go to because I'm not going to be able to afford the expense of leaving the country and printing new stuff. So if you want a copy of Dead Tree or you want a copy of Here There Be Dragons, either show up to the vendor table or be prepared to spend a lot of money at the charity auction for the copy of Dragons I put into the charity auction that I wrote a special custom message in for whoever wins it.
There's a few copies of Dragons over at the Book Nook as well.
Yes, there's a couple copies of the Book Nook, but they're going to take those with them. And I don't know where they're going to go with them. But in the meantime, thank you all for coming. Have a lovely night. And I'm going to turn this over to the next person.